gonna say an early morning. Good morning to you all. Happy July. Who's fresh? They're all 200,000. I need to turn my own volume on. Who's fresh back from some time away? I know I am. Has anyone traveled this summer? Jose, I know you did. Does anyone have trips coming up? This is good. I'm glad. I think we're just talking. It's easy to always push, and summer is always busy, but the need for rest is all the more important. So I'm glad we're doing some of that. We have an action-packed, as always, team meeting, but let's not get too far before starting with some gratitude. I'll start what you guys think. I was away last week. Cassandra is away this week, and I want to give special gratitude to Miss Nicole, who has stepped up in a lot of different ways to help cover in both our absences. So thank you, Nicole. I appreciate all you. And many others. This young man was Nicole's 1 year with us, so I'm grateful for you and all that you bring to the team. Who else?
I'm super gratitude for Miss Shonda Davis. Hopefully she can hear us. She just saved the day for us. The gentleman decided he wanted a walkthrough 10 minutes ago before he closed, and she was in New Philadelphia and swung over and helped us.
For you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yay.
You heard that? Again, folks, we are using the omnidirectional mic. Is that the word? There. So when you talk out of the side of your mouth. What's that thing? Who else?
Me.
Tiffany, you got something?
Yeah, why is she putting it?
I don't know. You go for it, Tiffany. I love you.
Well, I'm always grateful for Ginger.
Is that why she was tapping you?
No. No, I'm just grateful, she's a great boss to work for and stuff, and actually I told the story of how we met at my Bible study group last night, and then it's just a sign, like everything makes sense, and she was put in my life for a reason.
You guys are what? 2
years.
4 years. Oh my gosh. Oh,
4 years.
Yeah, and I think she would say the same thing about you. I know that to be true.
I know.
I am going to show my gratitude. I think we all, if you're not aware, Rich Cosgrove, while he's still doing our thing here.
Yeah.
He has slipped seamlessly into our government affairs director for the board.
Yeah,
He's doing a great job and I really appreciate him.
he is such a gift, and he is the worst vacationer in the world. I'm gonna give you a few broker level updates, and you're gonna boo me off the stage. He is such a gift.
He was on vacation while he attended our first meeting, so
Yeah.
God bless him.
I'm sure Joe loves that, but one more. Did I see one more flinch? Okay, I won't squeeze it out of you. Amanda, who did we welcome this month? Am I doing this because you're running the show?
It's up to you.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right,
you got
we
this.
welcomed in June, Alyssa Garcia here in Canton, joining our PC program, Michaela Stoffer, here in Canton, and then Bigad Elbanobi, all joining PC here in our Canton office. We also welcomed Zoe Lapadakis. She's joining Nick Rock's team. Nick's here. Robbie Criswell, who was with us last month, and then Jill Freeman, who's here, joining us at technically our Tusk office. So Jill lives clear down in Scio, which who knows where Scio is? It's further down and further out. There are some hands, some Carroll County and beyond love. I think there might even be a few more faces. Matt Wasilk joined us in Elyria. So from Scio to Elyria, what's the drive there? That might be a 2-hour drive.
I was just gonna say it's probably.
He joined the Melissa Sanford team up there. Jacqueline Jones is also with us here, joined us in the T County office, and then Marianne Simcox
I know, right?
via the Doug Miller connection joined us here, coming back into the business, which is great. So thanks, Doug, for the connection, and Marianne, we need your headshot. Come on. Amanda, we don't have like accountability around like, hey, if you don't, then
Jacqueline knows I just stole hers from her Facebook.
I'm thinking like the Kool-Aid Man or something, just
Next time.
yeah. if we don't hear back from you, this is what we'll go forward. All right, student profit share, I'm standing in for Cassandra, so. Cassandra's on vacation, Rich is on vacation, you guys are just stuck with me. $48,408, which year to date puts us just shy of $233,000. I like tracking where we rank nationally, because we're doing well, and we moved. 2 months ago, it was 35th place, last month it was 31st, and now 29th, so we're just creeping up. So, four Northeast Ohio market centers made the top 30 last month, which is remarkable. Greater Metropolitan's #1, Urbanic was number 22, we're 29, and Elevate was 30. So it's pretty cool. Citywide not in there? Huh. No comment, this meeting is being recorded. Congratulations to our cappers in June, Andy Alamini, Christian Lamb, Christian here? Yeah, he was here, Ginger Kuhn, who is here, and then Hannah Laps McKinnon. Well done, that's a great month, so congratulations to all of you. And then finally, for the Cassandra portion of the meeting, our June top producers, that is the biggest list that I remember seeing. Top producers have sold 3 homes or at least $500,000 in sales volume. So hats off. I want to give a special nod. Ms. Savannah Waffler, she may be watching on Zoom. She's on JMA, brand new agent, happened to land a $2.5 million buyer that she closed in June, which isn't bad for I think it was her very first deal. Is that the case?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was off a sign call.
What's
Like, a sign call. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
She set the bar.
Yeah, it's only down from here.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be in the vicinity of that. Yeah, that's not, and it was like an out-of-state buyer, right?
Country, yeah.
I spoke with, I think we all spoke with that, the agent on the other side, that was a situation. But congrats to you all. I think it's easy to be like, yeah, June, it's a busy season, but the market is not easier. And so congrats to so many. Oh. Totally. That's a call that we take. No, I'm glad for you. All right, I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna put taking my Cassandra hat off, putting my Rich hat on. Just a few things. So buyer's agency stuff is coming down the pike, and he sent us an email with just a couple keynotes. Just one PSA, any emails you get from the MLS, I know notifications and MLS emails often for us be like, yeah, I get it, but now's the time to be reading those because there's just so much that is in flux. All right, a few bullet points. Number 1, we are in the process of finalizing our updated listing / purchase agreements, and the goal is to have them in place for agents to use on August 1, 2024. So he is working closely with our attorney to get paperwork in place. Our ALC is going to be looking at that, kind of providing some input there, and that's what's going on there. Point 2, we are also finalizing our own version of the buyer agency agreement. So up to this point, we've been using Ohio Realtors, which is sufficient, but that is going to be tailored specifically to us. Number 3, the buyer agency agreement, as well as the buyer broker compensation document we have been training on, will be required documents starting August 1st, 2024 for compliance. So enjoy your last few weeks of freedom. He said that he's attending team meetings. So for sales teams, for some of our larger teams, to go over these documents, we'd be happy to do that with any of our other teams that are interested. He's taught so many trainings on these. I know we're gonna still get questions as we use them, but seriously, as he's offering trainings, attend. We had someone who had all kinds of questions the other day. I'm like, oh, what trainings have you gone to? And she hadn't gone to any of them. He's done like 6 of them over the course of the last couple of months. So he's doing his job. We ask that you do yours. And then finally, there is a new field in the MLS called concessions. This was one of the MLS emails from just the other day. This is not a required field by the MLS. However, it is strongly recommended that you discuss with your sellers at the time of listing to see if they would be open to paying any buyer concessions so you can complete this field accurately. Concessions can include buyer broker compensation as well as buyer closing costs. So that was highlighted this week. Search your email for MLS for more details there. He goes further to say that options when completing this field are yes, no, or negotiable. I am recommending as broker that we default to using negotiable as a standard of practice. Putting no may prevent buyers from looking at a seller property if they cannot afford to pay their buyer's agent or if they need closing cost help. Putting yes could be misleading depending upon the offer the seller is presented with. So negotiable gives you the flexibility to negotiate that moving forward. Further questions, read your emails, attend his trainings. Don't call him this week. Let's let him enjoy some time away. First half is in the books. Some people thought the first half ended at the end of May. I'm like, no, it's end of June. First 6 months of the year. So I just wanted to hit. I pulled some MLS stats. I realize it's probably hard for you to see. Easier if you're zooming. I can send this out for those that are interested, or I can teach you how to pull this on the MLS your very self for your particular area. I pulled these for the broader counties that we serve. So you may say, but Wayne County is a little bit different. Well, Wayne County is included in these, but also Stark and Summit and Tusk and Carroll are Ashland is as well. So this is looking since beginning of January. The stats we'll look at over the course of the next few slides is beginning of January 22. I would say kind of the new market began in 2022. 2021 was wildly frothy, unprecedented, more than 6 million homes sold. We're not going to see that again in any sort of near future. And so what we're looking at is basically the last 2.5 years of new normal as the market has corrected from the froth of 20 and 21. So here we are looking at number of sales, and don't worry so much about the numbers on the side because your community is going to be a little bit different, but number of sales month over month going on. So, you know, you can see June here, you know, we can see kind of a general trend line down. So, okay, here's the arc of 22, here's the arc of 23. 24 seems to be arcing down. I think most people expected 24 to be a lower year than 2023, though not for our office, which is good news. Days to sell, median. So this is a good seller expectation conversation piece. On average, obviously sale price, location, all of those things impact this, but median days on market. Median is picking the middle number as opposed to average, adding them up and dividing them. Median for this is typically a more accurate statistic. We're still insanely low. That looks like about 14 days, median days on market in June, which is kind of on track with last June. We know this. We know that homes aren't lasting long. Days on market are still being tracked when you move the status to under contract allow showings. So that clock is still ticking. It stops ticking once you hit UCNS or sold. For those of you who hang out in the listing space. Number of new listings. So again, I'm less interested in the particular month and more interested in the trend. We are seeing on average fewer listings come on the market. See 23 or 22 was what it was, 23, and then 24 is arcing slowly down. And then finally, actually no, two more slides here. Close price average. So even though we're seeing this, we're seeing kind of the stagnation in the market, fewer transactions happening, and we know this, average sale price is still trending up, which for you as people selling homes is good news. That means your average commissions on average should be following that line, provided that you're defending your value. But it also means the Fed is less likely to ease interest rates while that trend continues. It's not totally a 1-for-1, but that's what we're seeing. So again, these numbers, you may say, in T County, we're not in this 275 range. Again, it's going to vary by community, but the trend line remains the same. And then finally, from a data standpoint, this is always interesting to see. Oh, people are just charging more. It's just insane. This bar basically shows that sellers are still getting what they want. Percent of original price to close price is what that looks at. So 100% for the last 2.5 years, you know, mild dips seasonally in these places, because in wintertime, you typically see a little bit of a slowdown, but sellers are still getting what they want by and large. I would asterisk that comment by saying you can't get away with highway robbery in this market, and those of you who are taking listings now know, yeah, you have to price right, and that's always been true. That wasn't quite as true a few years ago, when interest rates were much lower than they are now. A couple of just mindset and action points as it relates to what we're seeing in the market right now. Number one is hang tight. If you're still here or if you're getting in, like we're in a long, slow, challenging market, and not as long as it's been at times in the past, but it's not as though the bottom's about to fall out. Like we're in the hard market. And so kind of have that hang tight mentality and always manage your expenses, you know. I still see agents say, I didn't do anything last month and I made 14 grand this month and I'm gonna go have some fun. You're allowed to have fun, but also managing expenses in your business and your life is always essential. Point number two, be better. Thanks, Mark, that's helpful. As we think about trainings related to buyer agency, as we think about summer masterminds coming up, as we think about a class at the office that looks good, but it's a sunny day and I'd rather, be out and about. The agents that choose to be better in this market will continue to grow. We've always said that, that's increasingly true. And I'm kind of alarmed at how many agents are taking more of a head in the sand. I don't know, I'll figure it out. How are you gonna figure it out? Show me your plan for figuring it out. Get in the room, be accountable. And then increase conversion ratios, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit as it relates to nurturing our database. The people who know you need to know you and need to know that you're the person that should be doing business with them. Leads out there are good to consider, but converting the people in our SOI is essential. Cool. I'm gonna shut up blessedly for a few minutes and invite a few others up. So Kayla, I know you're here. Where are you? Come on up.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great.
Good. Where'd you go for vacation?
I went to on Lake Michigan in Michigan City, Indiana.
Okay.
So with my siblings, their kids, it was crazy and it was fun.
How many people?
There were 26 of us staying in a home that was approved for 16 on Airbnb. That bunk room was huge, all right?
Hopefully they don't give you a review.
Yeah, right. We left in a good shape. Yeah.
Good, better than you found it.
Yeah.
Well, hello, I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people in a while, so hello to everyone, good to see all you guys. If you're new to KW, and you haven't, heard about Keller Home Loans, please get with me. We can do a, coffee call, Zoom. Be happy to tell you about all of our wonderful programs, including our 0+. So that is zero lender fee plus $1,000 credit for any purchase price of loan amount of $150,000 or more. If it's less than 150,000, they still get the zero lender fee, they just don't get the $1,000 credit, okay? A couple of lender bulletins, and this is across the board. Gift funds for FHA no longer have to be verified with the gifter's bank statements. Before, they had to have 60 days of bank statements from their relatives and friends, and now we just get to accept the gift letter and confirm that it's been wired to the title company, and it makes life so grand. Cause I know a lot of those things can come up last minute. OFA, our down payments through the state of Ohio. They have wonderful programs. Right now, they're a little inundated, so they are behind on reviews. We're trying to get those turned into them up front to combat their delay. But you'll experience that across the board too, if anybody's doing OFA.
So they're not checking where the money's coming from at all from these gift letters.
For the gift letters, no. I mean, they weren't doing that for conventional either. Yeah, now it applies to FHA. Another program that's kind of newer to us is a 1% down program for, that's for FHA conventional, it kind of overlaps. But Quicken is doing a 2% grant, so the buyer only brings 1%. So there actually are putting 3% down, only 1% is coming from the buyer. And that is unlike OFA. OFA is going to put a lien on the property for up to 7 years. That's completely forgiven, no second lien. So, on the 18th, I'm doing a training, so next Thursday. What's the KW, is it 5 Ds, the death,
Yeah.
divorce?
Like in the key of D, real estate in the key of D, death, divorce, descendants, so keep having babies.
Diamonds, degrees, diapers. Is that all? of it?
Yeah,
Okay,
any others?
right?
Appreciation.
Disappointed.
It's dead.
I don't know.
Downers.
We could go on forever. The 18th, I'm gonna do a class on navigating your clients through death and divorce. So that'll be a really good one. I think it's at 1 o'clock and Anna might be off.
Gail, I've got a quick
Yes,
question
it
from,
is.
from the Zoom. Joe has asked if there was a minimum credit score for the grant that you just mentioned,
For OFA.
for the Quicken combo.
I actually am waiting on a reply back. So typically they cut off at 620.
Okay,
I'm wondering if they go down to 580 because I have a client right now that falls into that. So I emailed him yesterday. So who?
that was Joe Evans, Joe TBD, 620, maybe 580. Stand by
Yes,
or
okay,
talk with Kayla.
yeah. So he should be getting back to me today. He doesn't email back, he calls. So that's the 18th, death and divorce. And then in August, I'll be doing navigating title and appraisal hiccups. So, that's, busy season, a very common problem. I have appraisals that I was like, okay, we're gonna have repairs, we just know it, and they get none. And then we have ones we think are fine and they have a laundry list. So I think that about does it for me. But if you guys have any questions whatsoever or want to bounce anything off me, I'm always available.
I think I need to know if one of the classes is gonna be on the boat.
Oh, that could be.
Just putting that out there.
Will that
Kayla
help?
was on the boat 3 days last week. So.
Yeah, I know, it's an 8-person, so
Okay,
we can fit it in, especially because a lot of people aren't in person during the summer, so if that will entice anybody, we'll move
There
it
you
to the
go.
boat, that's fine.
There you go. All right, I will
Yeah.
invite up the lovely Erica Chalco. Those of you who don't know, Erica's the one who like makes everything happen that you don't see. She's the like,
That's Cassandra.
she's the, no, people know Cassandra, you're kind of the wizard behind the curtain that keeps me sane, so I'm grateful for you.
Thank you.
But that's not why you're up here.
That's true. For anyone who is not familiar with Essential Leverage, we're a company that serves leverage options for all 3 of the market centers that Jose owns. Transaction coordination is one of the services that we offer, and it is paid per deal without contract. So it's a great option for anyone who has a small busy period or a large busy period, or might be at the point where they need to hire someone but isn't ready to take on that responsibility. So we're having a little webinar, get to know us, ask some questions, and find out more about what our value and our services are on the 31st. I hope you can join us.
Awesome. Zoom,
Yes. Zoom
Only. and if you're dual career, it is at a time that should work for you.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Thanks, Erica.
Thank
There it is. And if you got questions, you can talk with Erica or you can email Olivia@essentialleverage.com. Cool. Before I have our venerable guests come up, I don't know what that word even means, just felt right. Many of you, raise your hand if you've done a deal with someone that you know that you would call your sphere in the last year. I'm gonna assume every hand goes up. You good, John? Many of us do, which is a great thing. Many of us lack intentionality around that. People do business with you because they like you, they know you. And today's conversation is around, hey, if you're a 3 out of 10 as it relates to intentionality and system, how can we move you from a 3 to a 5? What can I put in place so that I'm not just likable, but they actually think of me more because of the things that I'm doing? So we're gonna talk a bit about database, Popeyes, client events, et cetera. One thing to note, I don't know how well you can see this. This is a page pulled from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. We say that we're a models and systems based company. This is one of those models, the lead generation model. So there are people that you haven't met, the general public. Our job is to prospect and market to them. That's a sign out there, that's cold calling, it's getting in relationship with them. There's a target group that you haven't met, which means so we prescribe what's called a 12 direct, which means I'm going to be in their mailbox once a month. That's a farming. Hey, I want to crush this neighborhood. This is the way to get in. But then once I've met them, and this is where the magic happens. The more of your business that happens here, the more fun you're going to have, the more money you're going to make. You're going to put 33, 36, 72. There's some people that have over 100 touch program. And we're not gonna go super deep on that today, as much as to say, you win when you're doing business with people that you know, and you don't need a graph to know that, but it helps validate what I'm trying to tell you. So with that, I would like to invite up Ginger Kuhn, Nikki Horvath, and Mike Svetlik to the hot seat. These great folks. Give them a hand for a green back. Oh, okay, nice. Sample. And as a reminder, the microphone is there. And if you're a fast talker, Nikki. So, yeah, you and me both. I tell you, Nikki trained me, and not just talking, but like just physically keeping up with Nikki. At their old office, it was kind of in a loop, and I'd look away for 5 seconds, and Nikki was literally gone. Holy moly! Before we dive in, Nikki, we'll start with you. Who are you? How long you've been in the business, and what role does the SOI play in your business?
Sure. So my name's Nikki. I am an agent on Jose's team. I've been with him for almost 9 years. I am also the trainer for our Impact Group, which is our Cleveland-based team. I've been doing that for 6 years now. What we're talking about today is a huge part of my business. I really do take advantage of all of the opportunities that our team has with pop buys, and we do note cards every week, which I think is probably the biggest part of my business. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, cool. Mike,
So I'm gonna be the rookie up here in comparison.
you guy.
So been with us for a year and a half now, going on that. So we are still growing our business, but it's been a big impact because we immediately, Tara attended a, what do you call it? The Bold, and she got us in on where we're calling through our cell phone and just reaching out to our contacts. And our first year, we had quite a few deals come from that. So growing our SOI and our sphere is huge for us right now. And we're seeing how we're changing it over time. Like, oh, we started here, but now we need to adjust it. So it's ever growing for us.
Cool. Ginger, how about you?
Ginger Kuhn, I'm not sure how long I've been here. Have I been here a year yet?
You came.
In November,
Almost a
No.
year. Okay, no.
almost a year, November.
Gosh, it feels like so much longer. In a good way, yeah.
Cause they had ginger cookies. I told
Because we
you
were
to
trying
play.
for like 3 years before that, yeah.
I'm sorry.
What role does SOI play in your business?
Yeah, huge role. We try to stay consistent every year, 2 to 3 events / whatever we can get in on 100%. We're always involved in all of that.
Cool. Nikki, I'm gonna ask you a specific question because I think your story helps debunk many people's defeat or beliefs around this. So you got into real estate fresh from another state.
Yeah.
Totally in a new community. Can you give us like a flyover? Hey, I didn't know a soul, basically, to where you are today, kind of what you weren't doing SOI at the outset. How did you move from where you started to where you are now? Were you total cold call at the outset? Like where did leads come from in the beginning, and then how has that matured in your 9 years?
Yeah, when I came out here, I didn't know anyone. I'd never driven in snow. We have totally different roof styles in Arizona, like it's all
No
different.
basements?
Yeah, totally different. So when I came out here and met Jose, joined his team, we have inside sales associates that book appointments for us. So the majority, well, actually, my first year, all of my business came from that. And slowly over the years, I've gotten it up to where it's probably half from the team and half from my SOI. So.
How did you move, as you close deals with ISA set appointments, how did you make those people your SOI? Just talk with me about the mentality, the relationship, the tools.
Well, I like to think of these people as my friends. Once I work with a client, they become sort of like my family and my friend. I put them on a spreadsheet. Doesn't sound all that friendly, but I put them on a spreadsheet and we have top 50 for our team, and I just touch them over and over and over again throughout the years. Just every morning I get on my phone and stalk people on Facebook. Hey, I saw you went to this restaurant last night. How was it? What'd you order? things like that.
So the practice of having a top 50, I think many of us are not as sharp on our database as we should be. And, you know, I think I have 2,700 names in mine, and my job's a little bit different than yours, but having focus is a key. I can't nurture authentic relationship with hundreds of people at once, but with 50, I can, which I think is a fantastic.
So one thing that I realized in the beginning was I wasn't all that great with that. And in the beginning, if some of you are probably new here, in the beginning, that's when you should really start to focus on that more, because when you get 2 years in and now you've got 200 people that you don't even remember what they look like, it's hard to start from there. So I was about a year in when I really started to nurture my 31 transactions my first year. Those people became my best friends, and I still talk to all of them.
So let's camp here for a minute. We'll talk nurturing relationships, and then we'll kind of scale to Popeyes and events and what you or your teams do as it relates to the broader stuff. But maybe I'll camp with you, and then we'll move to Mike. You mentioned note cards. Like, what are the systems that you have in place to make sure that people feel the love from you?
Yeah. So I do quarterly note cards to 100 of my clients. And what I do is I go on, it's called Note Card Cafe. You can go in and pick a theme. I always try to pick something funny that isn't necessarily real estate related at all. So I do New Year's cards, because I feel like everyone does Christmas cards. New Year's, I do spring cards, I do summer, and then I do something around like Thanksgiving or Halloween, just depending on how I feel. And I go online and find some cute little quote, and I get it pre-printed in the card, and I send the note cards out with something inside of them. So if it's a lottery ticket or a packet of seeds or whatever it is that I put in there, I always make sure I put something in the card, so that once I send out the card, it's not just one touch, it's two, because I call them and say, hey, did you win the lottery? Or did you plant your seeds? Or, and then I can reach out later and ask, hey, how those flowers come out? So it's more intentional, just not just, I used to just send the card and just hope it got there, but now I actually wait a week or 10 days and say, hey, did you get my card?
I love that. Whenever we're in touch with our people, we want to have a reason to be in touch with them, whether it's an event, whether it's I've got an open house coming, you know, there's a call to action, not just, hey, how's it going? Unless it's a, hey, how's it going type of friend. And so that you've baked the next touch in to the relationship, which I love. Mike, how about you and Tara? What does nurturing relationships look like for you guys?
So we definitely use a decent amount in command to make sure that we stay on top of it. And we're obviously, we got Popeyes, but we want to make sure that we have gifts for them. One of the big things that we started doing is starting to partner with local businesses and going out, and we got this idea from I'm losing my mind right now. What did we go to in Las Vegas?
Family reunion.
Yes,
Family reunion.
Yeah.
We need to give you
Yes.
philosophy.
It was a good time. But one of the things, there's a thing where businesses would send gifts to your clients, and I was like, well, why am I gonna pay for this service? Why can't I just go out to other businesses and partner with them and say, hey, I have a select group of like 50 people that can I send them a gift card to bring them into your store? So that way it's a version of a Popeye, but also like if you're just in my exclusive list, you're gonna get this gift from us. Just thank you for working with us and think about us. So that way I'm also gaining the community, but then also able to give our clients some type of gift that doesn't really cost us anything as well. And like I said, a version of Popeyes. And then I'll also go out with other clients to local shops. And I take one client in particular where I get my hair cut. Yes, I do. And he's an investor client. All he does is just talks and talks and talks. It's to the point now that I've built up a relationship at that place where I walk in, they're like, hey, Mike the Realtor. So I've just created that presence there. So it's making sure that I'm giving gifts to our top 50, and also that wherever I go, I try to create my brand as, hey, we're the Realtors.
Quick follow-up, and if you don't know the number, that's okay. Budget-wise, and Nikki, for you as well, since you guys are both kind of investing somewhere to help build a system around being in touch, what are you spending on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, however you track that? Per client or in total?
We honestly, we only try to keep the budget like between $5 and $10 per client.
Okay.
And
It's more about the thought than it is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, when we started talking about Popeyes, we brought this in, but yeah, we only try to spend like $5, $10, and the other thing what we did is. At the beginning of the year, during our slower season, me and Tara got a big old whiteboard and put up each month, and then we planned out all of the different events, what we're gonna do for our top 50, and then also community events. So that way we already have it planned out, and Tara's already bought the stuff for Christmas, like, so we already know what we're getting for them. She found it at some dollar store or something, and
Nice.
it worked out that it's a perfect gift, so it just that way we already have that taken care of, so planning the entire year and what the gifts are, that helps out.
Yeah, that's huge. Ginger, how about you?
We're very systemized process every 3 months, no matter what. We already know what we're sending out, who it's going to, and what they're getting, and we do the same thing every year. And I apologize if you've heard this from me before, but there's a book called The Purple Cow.
Is that
my-
good?
Yes, my team will get tired of hearing this. I read this book a long time ago about being a purple cow in a land of cows. So what does that mean? How do you stand out among the cows? Be the purple cow. So I always tell the team when we're training or whatnot, what's your niche? Find what you like, find what you're good at, and double down on that. So for me and my business, my husband's a fireman, so I know all the firemen, we all hang out together, it's just our thing.
Yeah.
Well, I double down on that. So every year, we do the Jackson Fire Expo. So we set up a table there, and of course, I already know all of these people, so it's great to see them every year and catch up. And then we'll do a giveaway or something, and I'm sure you've seen on my social media, then we do give it away online. So we talk to them there, we collect their emails, their phone numbers, their addresses, we verify them. That is in, Tiffany, is that January? And then,
She knows. 4
yeah,
years in. She's on it.
that's her job.
Yeah.
And then, is it March? We do EMS week.
May.
So we pick, sorry, thank you, May. We do 3 fire stations and we feed them lunch. But not only do we feed them lunch, but we hand deliver it. We get pictures, we talk to them, they know that Ginger loves their firemen.
Yeah.
And so costs,
Yeah.
have had the great relationship of helping to offset that cost with title and home warranty, so that I'm not carrying all of that to feed. How many did we feed this year?
Like 160, 170.
I imagine they're hungry men too. It's not just a
Yeah.
little sandwich.
And we use a local
Joel says, oh yeah.
a local restaurant to help spread the love, so she's super appreciative and gives us a good deal every year. And then in September, we do a kickball event, which is also a fireman thing, which is coming up next week. We also set up a table there, we see our firemen again, we do a giveaway.
And so you guys, you host this. It's not like it's happening and you sponsor it.
Oh, no.
This is a,
It's
Team-
already
team coordinated
happening and I show up.
but you
So-
put it on, like you.
No,
Okay,
Jackson
gotcha,
Fire
gotcha.
Expo is ran by, they're for like MDA organizations to raise money, correct, Joel?
Yeah, the Jackson event is like a systemized regional continuing
Cool,
education.
so you partner
Yeah,
with that.
So I don't have all of that expense of organizing it, so. Yeah, we're very systemized. Every 3 months, I've been taught since day one, how are you touching your people? What are you doing? How are you standing out? And how do you double down on that?
Mhm.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that was good, and that was, as we go back to this circle, if I can. The target group haven't met, like, you know, some of those firefighters, but you don't know all of them, and so it's a client event, and that's the best event is an event where you're meeting new people, not just loving on your people, and so, yeah. I'd say, they say riches are in the niches, you pronounce it niche, so the riches are in the niches, the more you focus on what you know, you also have a local kind of, that's part of your brand as well, so we're trying to support.
But even
local
if it's, I
businesses.
think of Bethany and her horses, like, how many people do you know from the horse community? Like, you know, your people that are your tribe. Find your tribe.
Nikki, I want to bounce back to you. Talk with me. Obviously, you're tapping into a larger, you know, we've got kind of newer in Mike and Tara, smaller team growing with Ginger, and then you're plugged into a much larger team. So obviously what makes sense from a scale standpoint is going to be different, but talk with me about kind of the big events or things that you guys do to love on your clients throughout the course of the year.
We do so many things. We do a movie for Christmas. a big giant party at the Canton Palace Theater, what, like 900 people this year? We have Santa, we have hot cocoa, we give out cookies that we make ourselves, so that's super fun. We just did a pie event where our team gave us 10 pies that we were able to
Which
deliver.
was huge, by the way. I drove by when that was going on and I was like, dang it. Walking down the street, I was thinking, all these people. that would be nice.
Andrew's got moon pies right next to
Consistency.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we
But
sent
so
out-
for your 10, so the team says, hey, you got 10 people that you can do this to.
Yeah.
And you get to contact them.
Yep.
They only get to pick 10 people each.
Each team member gets to pick 10 people to deliver the pies to, but we send out thousands of note cards or invites for people to call in and stop by.
So it's a combination of them coming to us, and then for our VIP people, we encourage our agents to go drop off pies with them.
Yeah, it becomes a Popeye.
Yeah.
Cool. And is mom still a thing?
Yep, I deliver mums in the, actually, last year we did an event at the office. It was like a harvest event. We had pumpkins that people could carve. We played the game on a big TV outside. We did hot dogs and donuts and all kinds of stuff, so people could stop by and get their face painted, get a picture in the back and.
That's great. Talk with me, how many of you do Popeyes? I know you do. I'm gonna probably call on you in a minute, unplanned. Talk with me about the role, for those of you who do, talk with me about the role of the value of the in-person connection, whether it's, hey, we're doing this meal, or I'm stopping by with a gift for you. Why is that better than a call? Why might that be better than a mass event?
Well, you're getting in front of them, and I mean, we're all emotional people, so, you know, you get to share the experience and ask if they have any questions, and oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you yesterday because my girlfriend at church needs to sell her house.
100%.
Yeah, so it's really that.
How do you do it? Nikki, I'll camp with you for a second. Is it, I'm just happen to be in this neighborhood and I think I have a fast guy that lives on the street. Is there a system around it, or is it kind of random?
It's kind of random for me. Every year you get new clients, so you're adding new people to the Popeye. I call it, so yeah, it's kind of random for me. I do like to give one to my hairdresser and like my nail person, and so that it kind of sits in the office. I decorate the box with my cards and cover up our sticker. They call me and say.
Anything for either of the rest of you? I'm not sure whether you do Popeyes or not, but would love to hear.
Yeah, actually, we absolutely do Popeyes. One of the things that,
I'm glad you asked, Mark.
yes, yes. No, one of the things that we did, this is our next one that we're gonna be doing, and what we did is we went out to all the Girl Scouts and said, hey, we need a whole bunch of cookies, so we spent a decent amount of money, so it's an easy gift that we can hand out, but we got tag-alongs, and Tara, what a great note, said like, hey, thanks for tagging along with us, if you know anyone else who can tag along, something like that. And then we're able to, we go around with some people, we say, hey, let you know we're heading over, other people, other people will literally just pop by and then they're like, hey, come on in, see what we've done with the house.
Yeah.
And to the point of, you know, we were actually thinking about you because we know someone who's getting ready to sell. And there was one that Tara had, like her very first client, a couple of years ago that, like, we're like, oh no, we're not getting a response from him. Should we keep him on this list? And then a month ago, all of a sudden we get a call and it's like, hey, Anthony told us to call you and we're getting him pre-approved and we're gonna deal with him. And it's like, so just because somebody's not responding doesn't mean don't do it. Just that, even if you're just leaving it on their front porch and saying, hey, I stopped by today, looking forward to hear from you, that still makes an impact. So absolutely, yeah.
Any, just as a final question, I think there's plenty of things that we do where it's like, I know the book says I should do this, but I don't necessarily feel the benefit today right now. Like, are there any win stories where it's like, oh, I got the lead at the event, I got the person, you know, the Popeye was waiting to introduce me to their aunt, where it's like, oh, this is why I do what I do. Ginger, you seem excited to answer.
Yeah, when I was preparing for this, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to tell them the story. I hope this is inspirational. A man I just sold a house to, which will be a coming soon listing. I
We
just
don't do
sold.
that anymore.
It's
It's brokerage, yeah.
But I mean, I sold a house to on Schneider. Called me, the house beside him has been vacant forever. So he calls me and says, hey, the owners are actually home, Ginger. and they're having a garage sale as we speak. So I thought maybe you could pop by, and I was like, on my way, jumped in the car, ran over there, had a great conversation with the owner. Called me 2 days later and I'm listing the house next week.
Yes.
Another story I thought of, one more real quick. One day I was randomly driving to the office and I see this man peeking in the windows of a vacant house. Nice neighborhood, not a terrible vacant listing. I totally turned the car around, pulled in the driveway and said, hey, did you need to see inside this house? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to see inside this house, but you know, just was kind of peeking around the yard and I was like, I can absolutely get you into it. Needless to say, he did not end up purchasing that house,
Mhm.
but I helped him purchase another one and sold another one. Just because I'm afraid of another one.
Yeah. Yes, sir, I can call the police for trespassing or be in that house. And I think it's my agency agreement.
I love garage sales though.
Yeah,
People
that's a great
jokingly
thought.
say, hey, so is the house for sale too?
Uh-huh,
No, oh, I'm a realtor, just in case.
yeah, smart, really smart. Any other kind of success moments or stories?
So obviously, going on Facebook a lot, but one of the things I did a lot was I would go down to the city of Canton and teach a class down there for new home buyers. And I was like, man, there's nothing out here for people ready to sell their home. So I got on and I was like, I'm gonna do a class online, just a webinar about what it is to list your home. And I just started with a couple of my close friends saying, hey, I'm gonna do this if you know anyone. Immediately, that first one, I got a listing off of that one. It was a close friend, and she's like, actually, I was thinking about it once you were to go with, so I was just thankful that you started doing this. So it's something that you never know, that even if people you're talking to, throw it out on Facebook, you'd be surprised how quickly that can turn around for you.
Yeah.
So that's something that we try to do at least once a quarter.
That's good work. Nikki, anything for you?
I had a couple that I sold a house to in like 2017. They had 4 little kids. I kept thinking in my mind, this house is way too small for you guys. You're gonna grow out of this house pretty quickly. And I would, we'd have an egging event every year for Easter. I would egg them, I would give them pies, I'd give them lottery tickets. I mean, I would just throw everything that I could at these people and they never ever responded, like completely ghosted me. Then one Sunday afternoon, I get a call from them. Hey, Nikki, we've been working with our cousin. It's just been a nightmare. Can you show us this house? And I'm like, absolutely. I pull up the house, $800,000 house. They bought that house. We sold their house. I sold his dad a house, and then his dad just bought a condo for me.
Wow,
Love it.
that's a great story.
So it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. I love that story because that was a story where you were banging your head. I'm like, you know, I'm investing in these people. It feels like there's nothing, and you just don't know. I think the power of the system helps protect you from that kind of the call bias that we talked about in both as well. In the interest of time, we're going to transition, but let's get a hand. Really appreciate you. So the question for each of you is, what's one thing that I can do to add more intentionality and systematize what I do? Is it a quarterly touch? Is there an event that I need to partner with someone on to come alongside? But what's that next step? Nobody likes talking about client love more than our very own Techco Kevin. So Kevin, come on up. Let's give a hand to Mr. Kevin.
So speaking of systems, I actually have an announcement to make here today. Raise your hand if you don't know what I do, if we've never met before. Getting way up there. Okay, so there's a couple people in the room. Real quick, are you familiar with Cutco knives at all? Okay, you are? Okay. Who here has owned some Cutco in their life? Who has Cutco? Keep it up if you had it more than 20 years. Nobody? 15 years? All right, so you've had yours for more than 15 years, right? So how often do you use it?
I mean, I've kind of transitioned just past it now. I mean, I still use it, still probably once, maybe.
Wrong answer, Cliff.
I got a big nice.
Break my heart, Cliff. All right, for those who like your Cutco.
Very much.
Okay, people who own Cutco love Cutco. I've been doing this for 28 years. I work events, I go to shows, I do street fairs, things like that. And when people come up and say, oh, I have that, is that when you give somebody a gift that they love and it lasts a long time. See, Cutco is guaranteed forever. It's made in the USA, has a forever guarantee. So the idea is, most people give a gift at the close of a transaction. This is something that's gonna last forever, get used every day. You can brand it tastefully. And we have systems in place so that you don't have to think about shopping for gifts anymore. So some people might say, what, knives? That's kind of a weird gift. Raise your hand if you've used a knife in the last 7 days. All right, everybody uses knives and they use them all the time, right? So has anyone here ever had a drawer full of knives that didn't work, or ever pulled a knife out of your drawer, went to cut a tomato and smashed it? Or has anyone ever experienced that? Anyone? Okay, is that frustrating? Okay, when that's all you have in your home is knives that don't work and somebody gives you a really amazing knife, how are you gonna feel when you use that knife? Amazing, right? It's gonna be like, wow, this is something that's actually useful to me. I'm gonna use it every day. One of the things that we gotta keep in mind is people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they will never forget the way you made them what? So imagine if every time they're using your gift, they feel great about it. That's a good thing, right? So that, based on that, I actually have a new announcement of a program that we're implementing. And it's our client review program, okay? So this is something that I have generated. My LLC, Edge Branding Solutions, has added this on to the Cutco gift, okay? What we do is we're actually going, and Ken just took advantage of this. So, and Carol's taking advantage of it too, Carol Cooper. We're getting her some cards for her gifts. What we do is we include a card for each gift you give out. And what it says is, it has your logo at the top. It says, thank you. We strive to offer our clients the highest quality service, so we also only associate ourselves with the very best. That is why we are giving you the gift of Cutco as a thank you for trusting us with your very important transaction. If you aren't familiar, Cutco is the world's finest kitchen cutlery, and all their knives have been made in the USA since 1949. Every Cutco product comes with their forever guarantee, including free sharpening for life. We trust you will enjoy using them with your family and friends for years to come. And then you put a little description of the gift, and below that is a QR code that goes wherever you want it to go for them to leave you a review. So that's whether it's Facebook, whether it is Google, you tell me where you want it to go. I generate the QR code, I print it on the card, and all they have to do at that point, when they've just received an amazing gift from you, is now scan that QR code and talk about how awesome you are online, right? So could that be helpful to your business? We all love positive reviews, right? So I want to tell you something else about something I'm doing this month. It has to do with gratitude, and it has to do with giving back, okay? Almost all agents that I know that are top producers find ways to involve themselves in some kind of a cause or nonprofit, and maybe they don't trumpet it, but most of them that I know are doing something to give back to the community. And I do the same thing. So this month, I'm donating a portion of all of my sales to Wishes Can Happen. Is anybody here familiar with Wishes Can Happen? It's based here in Stark County. Cindy Morrow founded it. So basically, anytime somebody purchases any Cutco, whether it's one piece or a whole set or 100 gifts for their clients, whatever it is, I'm going to donate a portion of that to Wishes Can Happen. And when that amount reaches $2,500, I'm kicking in $500 of my own money on top of it. As the portion we're donating out of my commission. So what that means is this: if you already use our Cutco gifts and you may need more in the future, this is a great month to do it because it's going to benefit Wishes Can Happen, right? So if you are thinking about Cutco gifts, you weren't really sure this was going to be, something that you do, but you're like, okay, I like this review program. This seems like something I can get involved in. Then let's do it now. Let's do it so we can help out, give back. The reason why I have a personal family that we're friends with, an 18-year-old boy who has brain cancer, and he is getting a wish from Wishes Can Happen. And so his name's Riley. I'm calling this the Rally for Riley. All right. And we want to do this because Wishes Can Happen does amazing things. Just go check out their website. They're phenomenal. They spend thousands of dollars to give these kids sometimes the last great experience they're going to have in their life. Right. So one more thing I'm going to do, because I do want to have my best month ever so we can donate a ton to Wishes Can Happen. I had special pricing for Bold this year. Well, not everybody in this room was at Bold. I'm going to go ahead and give you the Bold pricing. I have these flyers outside in the break room, so come see me afterwards. Anybody who places an order today we'll get the bold pricing, okay? It only takes about 3 minutes to get an order started for you. Anything else? Any questions about this?
You have these things here, do I need to?
Oh, yeah, why don't we pass them around? I figured so many people, yeah, you've never seen Cutco, have you? All right. Okay, so these are the engraved shears here, the shears that cut a penny. And I'm sure you guys know Marcy. She's on these knives here. And we even have a wine opener. And this is the wine opener with our cheese knife. So our gifts range in price from about 100 to about 300, depending on what you're getting and what market you're in. Quantity, of course, brings it down. So most agents are spending somewhere between 75 and 250 on as a gift anyway. So this is a great way to make it work for you forever. It's 200 marketing touches a year, even if someone doesn't cook. Because even if someone doesn't cook, they use a knife 4 times a week.
Yeah.
All right?
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
guys.
guys.
You, closing and,
I'll be really,
I'm
really
gonna announce
quick.
it. Yeah.
I'll be really quick.
Yeah, no.
In the spirit of client retention and loving on your clients, if you're not utilizing Command and you're interested, please email me, scan my fun little thing, but Mark's gonna flip the slide in a second.
Mhm.
But lots of great ways to do that. And I'd love to talk to you guys about loving on your
Yeah.
client retention through that.
Smart plans are a great way to systematize, what we're talking about. Mhm.
Next slide.
That was quick.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
trying.
yeah, you're still here.
I'm still here. I'm
All right.
trying. The summer picnic, please sign up, please RSVP. If you have not looked at your email lately, we're gonna do some fun minute to win it games. Start thinking about your teams. I believe it's gonna be teams of 10 or 11. I have lots of fun games that everybody can
She
do.
told me about some of these games yesterday. I'm excited to see some of you play some of these.
Don't
games.
intimidate them and scare them away from our fun games.
It will be delightful.
We're
And
gonna
a
have
little
some
embarrassing.
really, really awesome prizes donated by our preferred partners. So thank you to our partners who are donating prizes. I think that's almost it. Oh, Education Day is gonna be on July 30th. Come to that. It's all about branding and all of that good stuff.
I threw the thing up there and he like shakes his head in embarrassment as they do that.
I was worried.
If you don't already listen to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast, do it at least this week because this episode hit yesterday. Jason Abrams interviewed Jose to talk about some of the cool things he's doing as it relates to mopers. So Glenn dropped this on our Facebook page yesterday too, if you're looking for the link. So maybe Jose. I was waiting for your attention.
Summer masterminds next week. There's still time to register if you have not. Look in your inbox. There's a email
I'm
sent.
gonna drop a video. Sarah Reynolds, who's the keynote speaker, had a quick like 90-second video on specifically what she's excited to talk about. I'm gonna drop that in our Facebook page for us to watch. To give you a little bit more on the case, but it's a fantastic day, $39 from a value standpoint, really high. A few of us from the office are gonna be involved, which will be fun.
I think I'm done.
Oh, yes, so finally, our education committee, Tara, you good if I just tell what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Repping the Stonegate, vintage. Our education committee, which Tara's involved with, Harley's involved with, Pam's involved with, has, in the busy summertime, you guys get lots of invites to classes. We think the value of connecting with one another, and yes, let's talk business, but let's also like connect and be in relationships. So we're gonna be doing kind of community specific gatherings, one in Stark County, I guess it's actually Summit County, Canton Akron area, at Artisan Coffee on the 23rd. The Wayne County area group is meeting this Thursday at Muddy's, and then T County and Mansfield forthcoming, but keep an eye open for that. It's a chance to kind of get together with more folks that serve in the area that you're serving. Let's talk about what we're seeing, what we're learning, share, what listings do we have going on that we can work together. So the more we collaborate with one another, the better we all do. We're gonna sleep 90 seconds early, so with that.
It's not. It's really 11:59.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. I was just trying to take a win.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here all. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for our panelists. Grab some food, talk with someone you don't know, and go crush it. Bye, guys.